Hello. The easiest way to learn programming is to start practicing. The concepts like variables, data types, operators and all those things, the meaning will become clear once you start using them. So what we do now is we will start writing some programs and execute them and see the output. So then we correlate what we wrote and what we get in the output. So we are using Genie. So if we write the code in this window, editor window, and the output will come here. So let me just do some cut and paste so that I don't have to do much of a typing. So first thing we start is a comment statement. See, Python code is actually line structured. So this is a single line comment. So anything starting with a hash, the interpreter simply ignores it, and also all these empty lines are ignored by the interpreter. If you have a long comment, something like a paragraph, you can put it in these triple quotes, I mean 3 single quotes together. So that means you can have a comment spanning multiple lines. So if you run this code, and how do we run it? There are 2 ways. One is actually you can so here build execute. So we have to save it in some name. So I'm going to save it in hello.py. And you can also execute by pressing this button. But you can see there is no output. It doesn't print anything because these are just command lines. Now we start writing our first line. That is not a comment statement, it is an assignment statement. So here we can introduce the concepts like, so you can see the x is a variable, and in this statement we assign a value of 5 to the x. So this equal sign is actually the assignment operator. And to get any output, so we have to put a print statement. So print, and inside the parenthesis we put say x. So now we run this program, again clicking on this gear button, it prints 5. So this gives some idea how the whole thing is working. So now the question is, this x is what kind of variable it is. It could be integer, floating point number, string or anything. So here the Python decides the data type depending upon the value assigned to it, but we can inquire with Python what is the type of this variable x. So we will ask Python to print it. It says it is an int type, so it's an integer. And if we repeat this, say put x is equal to say 5.2 and run it again. So you can see first it printed an integer, it was integer type, then it became float. So the x was integer at this point, but after this line it became floating point. That means the type of the variable x is decided dynamically by what you assign to it. So Python is a dynamically typed language. So you don't statically give a type for a particular variable. So that is about this variable. So we have talked about variables, data types, and 2 types of data we have already seen. Maybe we can add one more here. Say if I add in this index plus 3j, and let us see what is the output. It says now it is a complex number. So 3 numeric types we already introduced, right? So now let us do something like this. Say y is equal to x into say 2, and you say print y. And you will notice one thing here, this space y and all this is for readability. So in between, like here also, see after this y, if I don't give this, it looks, it looks very odd. It is better to give some space, at least this is up to you whether you want to give a space between these two, but these spaces, it doesn't change the meaning. So now if you run this, it says it prints 10, right? So here this is the multiplication operator. So we have used one arithmetic operator, right? So you can also do something like this, say use another operator. So it's 2.5. So that means this is by default in Python 3 it does the floating point division, and you can give another operator, that is exponentiation. So you will find it is 25, right? 5 square. So these are some of the operators and some arithmetic operations, right, and some data types. Now let us do something like this. See, what is the meaning of this? This double equal to, this one is actually a logical operator comparison, that it is asking the question whether x is equal to 4 or not, and that result will be assigned to y. So let us see what is the result. It says it is false. Obviously 5 is not equal to 4, right? So but you can ask the question something like this, x not equal to 4 if you say, and that value if you assign to y, you will get a true. So here we encounter one more data type, that is Boolean, true or false, right? So this logical operation result is a Boolean. So we have totally encountered Boolean data types, and the numeric type, 3 of them, right? The integer, floating point, and complex number. Now we can go and find out probably some more data types, or before that maybe say different ways of assignment. So let us try that. So I'll take something from here to save typing, and say put it here. So here this is again talking about the line structure of the program. Okay, so you see that here there is a very long line. Suppose if it goes again longer, fitting it in a single line sometimes becomes difficult. So but you can do one thing, you can just put a backslash and press an enter. So logically that is a single line. So you cannot say print y here. So if you want to print, you can print this variable, right? So we can print this. So it prints it. So this is basically how to split a line. If it is too long, you can split it by a backslash. And sometimes people also want to combine some lines. Suppose say a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, and there are 10 of them like this. Sometimes people may prefer to put them in the same line. So at least that option is there if you want to combine two statements. See, this is one statement, this is another statement, and so long as they are on different lines, it's okay, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to put them on the same line, you can put a semicolon and do that. So this also is acceptable. Okay, and then assigning numbers, there are different ways you can assign, like different say values. You can say something like say 1e3 or 1e4. So it is the format in exponential, right? 1 into 10 raised to 4. And you can also do something which is do a multiple assignment, like say a comma b is equal to 1 comma 4, and the result is 1 is assigned to a and 4 is assigned to b. And it also allows you to swap the values of two variables. There is a short notation for that, otherwise you need an intermediate variable. So once you do this, the value of a will go to b and b will come to a, right? So these are some ways of, like, assignment, and there is nothing special about it. You can do different kinds of things with that. And so Boolean, so we did something on the numeric data types, and we talked about the comment statement, and after that probably now we can go to the other data types, but let us stop it here and then we'll do it in another the next video.